you check the children? Show a little match sometimes.
Hi, I'm Chucky. Wanna play?
Sometimes. That is what
You're gonna need a bigger boat.
Bienvenidos, Fright fans, and welcome to The Horror Show. I'm Jaime and Fuego, and so very stoked to be back here in studio, The Horror Show Channel Studios, to film a Patreon-requested review. And this is actually, we have been catching up on stuff. It's been, a little bit haphazard with me being back at school, finishing out the promotional period for Dylan's New Nightmare, but this is a poll winner from last year. I believe it was the December poll, and it's a film entitled Monsters of California. So I'll do a little Arnold Schwarzenegger there. But yeah, so this is one that I originally watched when it first hit Redbox, I believe, and that kind of dates this poll even more so because of the fact that, yeah, Redbox is officially no more as of earlier this year in 2024. But yeah, I found it on Daily Motion, so I was able to watch it once again in preparation for this review. And so Monsters of California is actually written, I believe, and directed. I know he directed it, and I think he co-wrote the script. I can't recall specifics if Tom DeLonge, yeah, that's right, from Blink 182 and also of Angels and Airwaves, his side project. Well, actually, it's more or less like a full-on project in and of itself, even along with Blink 182, because he left Blink for a while, and the guy from, oh goodness, I'm trying to remember the other group that they had come in and fill in when Tom was gone, along with Mark and Travis. But yeah, man, big Blink 182 fan. Not as much the Angels and Airwave stuff, but I do know that Tom DeLonge is notorious for being big into his UFOs. Like, he has gone on record multiple times, and however you may feel about these unidentified flying objects, I know that they have like a different term that they utilize for them. But yeah, so there are definitely some vibes of this. This is a non-spoiler review, obviously, and overall thoughts, I did not like this movie. I feel like it was very much a nostalgia trip for Tom, and it's, taking place in California, and you've got these, like, skater punk kind of kids, and yet they're also interested in the paranormal, and it kind of bleeds from the paranormal into something a little more connective along with our main characters. Dallas, I believe his name was, his father, who had gone missing a number of years before. But yeah, the acting I found incredibly juvenile, and I know a lot of that has to do with the script and a lot of the dialogue that was given to these kids, but it felt very pedestrian. It did not, like, I've seen a lot of younger actors in low budget things of this ilk where they really shine. These kids were just a sheer annoyance for me, unfortunately. I'm really kind of shocked at this one, the December poll. I don't know how many people actually voted in the December poll, from the end of 23. But yeah, I was not fond of this. The subject matter especially tries to go into some religious sort of commentary because Dallas's mother is devoutly Christian, and she's involved with this new, fellow religious dude, and of course, the fact that the father went missing and they never got any confirmation as to what happened with him. But yeah, it goes from paranormal potential in this, like, opening, breaking into a house sort of bit, and it expands into something a little more along the lines of what, Tom's affinities are and interests and fascinations, obsessions, no less. So, I don't know, man, this one did not jive with me. The humor didn't land. The little kind of love story, and the brashness of Dallas's character with this girl who just moved to town. I don't know. This movie didn't really work for me on much of any level, and that's a real rarity for me to say, because anyone who's watched this channel for the 10 years that I've been on working with Cecil and the girls and everything knows that, yeah, I all too often can find some redeeming qualities, and it was a real struggle to find them in this. And so, story, as I've kind of hinted at already at this particular point, so Dallas, and then he has his two buddies. Toe is the super, super annoying one, and then there is a third friend who is, like, a little bit more on the industrious side. He helps Dallas with research and things of that nature. And so this trio, this trinity, and I did get echoes of myself growing up, because I had like a trio, a trinity, as we said at the time. My buddies Michael and Morgan, the two of them were cousins, and then along with myself, we'd known each other since grade school, and then by the time we hit high school, hung out all the time, and we we blazed and we, got into all kinds of sort of, hijinks, shenanigans, adventures, all kinds of that fun stuff. And so I did get that vibe in the story that's really what Tom was trying to go for. What this was within that spirit, almost like an Amblin film meets like the Stoned Age, sort of vibe. And yet I love both of those. And this was not equal to in any capacity either of the sum of those two parts, even to the most minuscule sort of degree. But it opens up with this three friends and they're breaking into this haunted house because apparently Dallas's father, in his research working with the government and everything, he had all of these different certain points around the entire world like mapped out that were supposedly these almost like epicenters for paranormal activity. As the story evolves and, you start to get some more shreds and details of information, you find out it might not be paranormal. It's a different sort of otherworldly. We're not talking the spiritual realm. We're, maybe without spoiling anything, more so along the lines of Tom's affinities and whatnot. And so, yeah, it's after this initial break-in, they have an encounter with something, and they eventually discover when you've got Johnny Rico, none other than Casper Van Dien shows up, and he is Dallas's father's brother, so Dallas's uncle, and he's doing very suddenly, and to quote Pitch Meeting because movie, he's snooping around right around the same time that this phenomenon that they encounter in this alleged haunted house goes down, and so maybe they got the readings of that, I guess, since there's potentially things that I wasn't paying 100% every sort of bit of attention to. So that would make the most sense if that's why Johnny Rico, Uncle Rico, was kind of, putzing around and snooping and such, and all that different whatnots and whatever. But so Dallas, he works as a barista, and he ends up meeting this girl who comes in for just a $2 bottle of water. He starts flossing hard, man, and so she essentially joins up with the guys shortly before the hour mark when they go and they investigate this cave, and things that's about as far as I want to go as far as story goes. And that is where things ramp up and get a little bit more interesting when they encounter this guy who worked with Dallas's dad, who, as I said earlier, went missing, and it was mission related with regards to his government work, and we don't really get, at least to that point, no full disclosure. And so, the movie was just kind of derivative, unfortunately, but once again, I could really feel just the fascination and the affinity, even if the execution by, Tom and his team wasn't too great. Acting, I've already kind of harped on it a little bit. The girl is really wooden in a lot of her scenes. At least the three bros have some essence of camaraderie that feels natural, even if I didn't really buy into any of it. I don't know, Toad just annoyed the living hell out of me in this movie, man. I mean, picture like Tack from Stoned Age is really the way that character just reminded me of. I mean, and Tack was like the 100 times more annoying Slater from Dazed and Confused. I know some people prefer the Stoned Age to Dazed and Confused, whatever, I'm just comparing this to the 90s stoner movies that I really get the feeling that Tom was deriving some serious inspiration from. So yeah, the acting, and especially Dallas's family, like his sister, she's fine, she's kind of pretty, she's a better actress than the girl that Dallas sets his sights on and everything. And there's this scene where Dallas's friends are, because they think his sister is so hot, please, can I see your sister naked, man, blah blah blah. And yeah, that's pretty true to life, I suppose. And then there's like a younger brother who just like looks around and reacts with his cute little glasses and everything. So I don't know, but you can tell he didn't really know what to do, didn't really have much to say or anything. The mom is really wooden though, man, especially when she's trying to kind of witness early in the film to her son, and he's being the same sort of brash, almost like atheistic sort of approach. Well, more so scientific than full-on atheistic. But so the acting didn't really, I mean, when you get some, even Johnny Rico, even Casper Van Dien, he's never been championed as being like the best actor, but he seems like as stiff as I've seen him in just about anything. Like, I thought his acting was bad in those direct-to-video Starship Troopers stuff, man. Like, I don't know. So, acting, not so great. And music, you got a lot of punk rock, as would be expected, from Tom, with his musical background in Blink-182. And then the rest of the time, it does go for a little bit of that Amblin, sort of whimsy with the score, where it's kind of trying to go for, like, kind of magical notes of, wonder and curiosity and everything, but none of it really stood out as far as, I mean, some of the more memorable scores of that era of the 80s specifically. So, I don't know, man. Effects, there's a creature tussle in a cave early, but you don't really see very much. In the back half, we get a little bit more interesting. But yeah, guys, as a whole, as all too often happens with these, where we're not being non-spoilers and also for the sake of Patreon and whatnot, we don't really want to go into too much insane detail. I hit most of my points at this particular point already, so yeah, Toe is so annoying in my notes. Yeah, man, I don't know, especially, like, it would have been one thing if it was still available at Redbox and you could have spent, like, the, $1.50, $2, whatever the hell it was, right before they went under as a company and officially filed bankruptcy. Chicken Soup for the Soul had bought Redbox for a big amount of money, and I guess the former owners of Redbox are the ones laughing in the bank with, what ended up happening with this company. And so, yeah, guys, at the end of the day, Monsters of California, unfortunately, it's not streaming anywhere. Like I said, I found it on Dailymotion for free, and it was a pretty decent quality copy. Those things disappear with the quickness, so who the hell knows. Yeah, but beyond that, I'd say, yeah, maybe $2 if you're into Tom and you want to be very comprehensive with all of his creativity and artistic expression. Sure, it's kind of a peer into his interests and into his psyche and whatnot, but as a whole, Monsters of California, no bueno. I did not particularly like this film. So, I give a grande gracias to all of our patrons. Thanks so very much for checking out this video. Sometimes these do migrate over to the main channel, and just if, we're starved for content during a slow couple weeks or month or whatever, when there's not a lot of spectacular stuff, these can make their appearance known to the general public. I don't think that's probably going to be happening in this particular case. So I extend that thanks so very much once more, and yeah, if you want to just do the same like and subscribe stuff, although I don't really think there would be any reason why you would be a patron and not be subscribed, but who the hell knows? That's always a possibility. So I've been Fuego, everybody. Y'all have been rad status, and until next time, Fright fans and those obsessed with UFOs, remember, stay scared.